Welcome to Shawn Ashman Art. Today I will be sharing with you about the Hardwired collection. The Hardwired collection was done in January of this year, and it was really my opening series for the year. It challenged me so much, and I tapped into the Hardwire series in order to pace myself through 2026. Now, the signature piece called Hardwired was really the piece that got to my heart because it challenged me to think about my habits, my ways of thinking, and my approach to life, my approach to business, my approach to art, and ask myself over and over, is this my personality? Is this my modus operandi? Is this who I am? Or am I programmed? And so I challenged myself, and I have been challenging myself to think about my hardwiring, whether or not I am programmed, and sometimes do an assessment to see if I should check out of that programming or reprogram my thinking or assess if this is really the best route and the best way to operate. And so Hardwired, the collection, has been impactful, not just to me, but I have gotten feedback from persons to say, boy, I'm like a collection here. It really got me thinking. And for those of you who don't know, I have an IT background. I actually was trained in IT and worked in IT for just over 20 years. And I left that era and I moved into my creative era full time, and I've been doing art and motivation and workshops, etc., for the last 4+ years. So Hardwired is a combination of art and IT. And so I took computer parts and I incorporate them in my artistic designs to give you a work of art that tells a story and also has a physical touch and feel and three-dimensional, storytelling as well. So for Hardwired, the piece, it challenged me to think about even my approach to art. Just doing stuff outside of the box, exploring cubism in a new way. And you would have seen those changes throughout the year so far that I have incorporated in my pieces. So this programming thing, you might be saying, yeah, man, for true, say I'm programmed. The question really is, what can I do differently? Or how can I approach life, or can I approach work in a different way, from an introspective way? But having done the introspection, I'm all about taking action, because motivation is about taking action. What am I going to do differently? And so I've started creating differently. I've invested in oils, and I've been, working in a more fluid, abstractive way, even though I'm keeping the cubism style, because the cubism is very structured and it's a very tight way of painting. But if you look around, you'll see I have been doing more expressionistic work, being more passionate, have more airy type of feel to the work, but still keeping my core cubism concepts in my work. And so, yes, I have been changed because I am fully hardwired. I was hardwired in a lot of ways, in the meals that I prepared, in the approach that I took to my art. As I say, I've started to do more oils on top of my acrylics to get deeper depth in my work, to add a new dimension to my work. I have simplified the way I dress. I have cleaned out a lot of stuff, and I still have a lot more to clean. I have revamped my closet, for example. I have revamped my art studio. This is my living room that I'm in. I'm actually painting in my living room because my life is just about art. But this created a new space for me. It's just acrylics that I do here. And then I have an oil studio somewhere else in the home, where it's more ventilated, and it's a different kind of work in that space. So this is where the inspirations start. This is where I, get things going, and then I go deeper. I go so much deeper with the oils on top of the acrylic. So think about areas in your life that you really need to change. It might be difficult. It might be I've tried a new hairstyle. I've actually relaxed my hair, which I haven't done for years, but I am getting out of this hardwired mentality. Now, do I like it? Not sure. I'm still, going through the phases, but I'm opening up to new ideas, to new way of seeing the world, new ways of living, and really to see what's working for me at this stage of my life. Not to say, oh, I don't like this, and all the stories that I told myself about different things. I am really opening up to new ways of living, new ways of thinking, and the approach to life has shifted. And so, if you're hardwired today, I'm encouraging you to just try and shift something in your life. When you do make that shift, when you make that transition, things will change, things will appear differently. And then you can say, but Lord, look how long I hold myself back by thinking this way, or look how I could have been progressing in this particular area of my life had I done this differently. So I continue to challenge myself, and I'm challenging you to think about just one aspect of your life and try and make a change, try and make a shift, challenge your wiring, reprogram your thoughts. Think a new thought and see what happens, see what comes up, a new perspective. And of course, to beautify your space and to encourage you and to encourage others. So I'm doing this series to share with you the pieces in the collection, and I hope that you find meaning in them as well. So stay tuned for the next piece. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting my channel. Like and subscribe, and we'll talk soon.